competitive. And so I'm always looking for outlets to challenge myself. And one of the ways I do that is by riding a bike. On one of my very first long rides, I'm about 10 miles from town when this huge Rottweiler just charges at me and he's biting at my tires. It was terrifying. And the whole time he's chasing me, I'm thinking to myself, today is not the day. I cannot die in spandex. Eventually, the dog's owner and a deputy swoop in and save me from this imminent mauling, and relieved, I slow down to stop and thank them, forgetting in all of the chaos that my feet lock into the pedals. And I take this smooth, not at all graceful, just crash into the asphalt. My pride hurts, my body hurts, and to top it off, as I continue home, it starts pouring rain. Why would anyone choose to do this to themselves? But as I wring out my socks and bandage my mostly emotional wounds, I start to feel that sense of accomplishment. The one that comes with pushing yourself further than you ever thought possible. That's where we get better. So the next day, I get up and I ride even further. You know, several years ago, right here in the heartland of America, Broken Bow, Nebraska was in that same bike accident crumpled heap. Tax increment financing experts used to showcase our slow death in their presentations. There, for all the world to see, was my hometown's destined commercial expansion, obviously been put out to pasture. And a former chamber president tells of a time when 40 businesses closed their doors. We were on track to be gone. There needed to be a commitment to get back up, dust ourselves off, and figure out how we could be different. The first piece of that was organizing a core group of leaders with a deeply ingrained belief in better. That it, whatever it is, can always be better, and that we have the power to make that happen. It meant that the thought of the consequences of an action, the idea that things will never change, well, it had to hurt. Or I are that person, that champion that's called upon to bring all of us together under that sense of urgency so that we can ask the important question. How can we not? How can we not do something? From there, we also had to leave our problems behind. We needed to know why our issues were issues and not talk about them. I mean, for 25 years, we had been talking about them in coffee shops and hair salons. We needed to drill down to a solution that wasn't limited by single-minded problems, but was the answer to what we wanted our community to be in 20 years. And after a lot of collaboration, we came up with this: to be a vibrant regional hub, attracting young professionals and families and serving the commerce needs of a large trade area. With those goals in mind, we started working in projects in every sector of the community, because better has to mean better for everyone. And our victory needed progress throughout our community to become a success. One of those pieces was our sale barn. Custer County, Nebraska is one of the largest cattle counties in the entire nation. And yet we had been asking ag producers to leave to do business. When an experienced auctioneer landed in Broken Bow, we knew we had to do something. The owner of the sale barn property at that time just preferred to let it sit empty. And there's no sense in negotiating with someone who can't understand your vision. So our region dug deep. And in 24 hours, we raised $100,000 to bring the price of that sale barn property to a reasonable place where the Broken Bow Livestock Company could permanently call us home. They have sales every Thursday, and if you drive down the street, you will see license plates from 8 or 9 counties. And when they come to town, it's not just for the sale, but to take care of all of their other business. Everybody wins. To continue activating, we did develop a framework and a structure that everyone could understand and contribute to, and really, that's the easy part. The tough part is keeping everyone motivated and focused, even when progress seems slow. But that's why we have to trust those people, those champions who are willing to take us all through asking that question together. How can we not do something? Because if they have the power to do that, they can also keep us all facing forward. A piece of our framework was leadership development. And I asked some of our key leaders if they would step aside and let me develop a program that didn't involve them directly, but let me use their support to name the up-and-comers in our community. Through that first class of Leadership Custer County, we were able to create a platform that allowed us a chance to revive this idea that in a vast county of 2,500 square miles and less than 11,000 residents, that we could have a new hotel and convention center, drawing new money and people to our communities. At first, some of the participants thought that we had looked at this from so many angles before that it just wasn't feasible. And then, on December 31st, I received a message. It was from a participant, and they were interested, and it truly was Happy New Year, Custer County, as seemingly overnight, a group of regular folks invested back into our community, giving us that hotel and convention center, a 500-person convention center. Events that completely overlooked Broken Bow before are now coming and sharing in our beautiful community. This continued motivation encourages us to celebrate our successes, big and small. It also means that we have a responsibility to keep going. I think there's a real hazard in stopping to admire how far you've come and starting to feel as though you've done enough. When we start to reach our goals and we're moving closer to our victory, it's time to reevaluate if that previous definition even still applies. What worked? What did we overlook? And are all of the right partners still at the table? We have to be able to take this hope that we created early on and support it with evidence. How can we campaign on the idea that success breeds success if we can't prove it? Our work in housing development was like that. And it all started with this amazing couple, Roger and Carlene. They wanted to give back to our community. And so they decided to work with us on a 12-home subdivision. To alleviate some of the risk, the original plan was to build 6 homes, and when they sold, build the next 6. But as those first round of bids started coming in, we knew the economies of scale were no longer going to work there. It was going to have to be all at once, or nothing at all. Well, the idea of selling 12 new build homes in our rural environment just wasn't something that the bank or the investors were that excited about, and who could blame them? I mean, for a moment there, it felt a little helpless. So, in a moment of insanity, or sheer desperation, I blurt out, "Give me 3 days." And then I'm like, who says that? Give me 3 days. I mean, where was give me 2 weeks? Let's sit on this for a month. But no, 3 days it was. And for those 3 days, I didn't sleep because I knew how important this project was for our community. It turns out our faith continued to be built as we found an industrial group willing to stand behind those first homes. All 12 homes sold before we broke ground, and that success bolstered confidence in others to take similar risks. And in 18 months, in our community of 3,500 people, we had 43 new housing units and a plan for 18 more. Believing in better became an epidemic, and we couldn't stop there. We had to think about who is going to be the next generation of leaders in charge of tomorrow's better. We had to give them the gift of allowing them a chance to walk beside us, of taking a piece of our story, today's victory, as their own. Because when they believe that they can change the world, think how great our future can be. You know, it's been several years since that Rottweiler chased me. And I have put hundreds of miles on that bike, and literally just the other day fell again, reminding me what an important part the fall is to any great accomplishment, huh? You know, it was my husband's figurative fall that ultimately led us home to Broken Bow. He had some serious health issues that, in an odd way, allowed us to reimagine our lives, to dream. And when he was home healing from a major surgery, an email from my hometown's economic developer came across my desk, and I shot that email off to him on a whim saying, I am going to rock at this job. 20 minutes later, he replies, and it's with a real estate posting, and it says, honey, you're going to look great doing it from here. Today, my bike hangs in that garage, and Broken Bow and Custer County are flourishing. That pasture of a commercial tract is completely developed, the site to numerous new businesses, a judicial center, and a community college campus. Just imagine if we all chose to face our opportunities head on. I wonder, what is it that drives you to believe in better? What is it that keeps you locked into your pedals? And if for that purpose, will you stay on your path even when it starts pouring rain? And will you choose to go further than you've ever gone before? Be rooted, but never stand still.